If this is the first time you've tuned in, you join me on my venture of making this car great again. The task today involves a lot of cutting, bracing and forward thinking. If there's one thing I believe in life, it's that you can tackle anything you put your mind to. Success is built on passion and passion is built on dedication. These are the fundamental principles I'd have to adapt to see this project through. But right now, let's take some 19mm box section and begin to brace the car from side to side, front to back, ensuring it holds its lengthy formation. First of all, this is what bank holidays are all about, beer and messing around with metal and cars. The reason we're bracing these doors is purely because with the car being on a rotisserie, we run the risk of when we cut the floor out, the car actually stretching or compressing. Now we're going to brace across the doors, I'm going to brace across that way to stop the car going inwards. Then hopefully when we cut the floor out, it should be fine. We're going to do one side each because you can't actually buy a full floor for a clubman estate. It's going to be more work. I know we're going to have to weld up to the tunnel, but I'm pretty sure it'll be right and it'll look mint when it's done. So they've braced this side. We're basically going to repeat the process around the car now. We'll soon have this car back on the road. So with that said, cheers. Now one of the beauties of building this jig is the fact that we need to get to the other side, we can effectively spin the car. That's been strengthened, we've got a locking mechanism, so with the help of two of us, let's spin the car. What box is it over there? So now the car's spun upside down, in style of course, with a rotisserie. We're going to repeat what we did over there and then look at getting a brace going across.
Once upon a time there was a prince and was a pretty girl. Pull up in the city, it's a pity, look here come the world. All behind the tents and cat skins and living spiteful. See that prince a black man, that pretty chick a white girl. It's only one problem. Racism be like a pet cause everybody got one. It's toxic to pull you over flashlight. Not one for telling stories much, but this what happened last night.
So whilst the car's in the upside down position, we've put two braces in. Now we've braced the car lengthways, we need to brace it widthways because I don't want the car effectively squeezing in on itself. So the reason we put the second bar in is so we can put bracer bars across to the other bar and that should hold it. So right now we're going to take a measurement from the inside of the driver's side bar to the inside of the passenger side bar. I'm going to take a measurement right across. And that's coming out at 126.5. So 1,265mm if you work in mil like me. Right, so you can see that it's 1,265mm we need to cut for the front one. The back one might be a little bit longer because obviously as you look down the car it's not straight as an arrow. So we'll cut this bar, we'll get it welded in, we'll do the other one, and then it's time to expose the spot welds ready to cut the floor out on a car for the first time in my life. Basically this car costs £1,100 and I'm just losing more and more of it as the day goes on. But that is the beauty of restoring these old wrecks. It is fun, but it is heartbreaking at the same time. So, cue the buttery shots.
Mercedes is crazy, grilling me doper just like the 80s. The crowd goes crazy, Prison pistols on me, listen, you don't wanna play me. The crowd goes crazy, what up?
If you're wondering why I flipped the car the right way around, it's just a bit easier to work on, especially for getting on the other side. When it's upside down, it leans and it's a tight squeeze. So we're going to clamp this piece of metal in now. I'm going to slide that over and it fits like an absolute glove. That's actually just held in now without me putting any clamps on. But we'll clamp it into place, get a nice beautiful weld on it. It's funny, you know. It's funny how you imagine a job isn't going to take so long, and how the end result isn't too far away. Being a noob at this bodywork, my eyes were certainly opening. It's dirty, hard graft, and skillful, and the only thing making me continue was my mindset that if he can do it, so can I. So now all the floor is braced in 4 directions, it's finally time to begin cutting out one side of the floor. Now obviously, as you guessed it, because I've got the most access on this side, the driver's side will be coming out first. And it is the worst side because it's been absolutely plated everywhere. So it wouldn't surprise me if we find especially filler there and all that. So we're going to grind along here, expose the spot welds for the floor and begin to drop it. Wow, never done this before in my life. But there's a first for everything and we will do it, and I'm looking forward to it, to be honest. And we'll be one step closer to getting this brown turd back on the road. Whipping the grinder out, I was expecting to see orange sparks flying all over the garage. Not to my surprise, it was mainly white powdery dust, highlighting yet more bog and filler. It's safe to say this clubman is absolutely littered with it. Don't worry though, it's nothing I can't overcome, even if it does break my heart along the way. Now, I'm almost ready to start cutting the floor out and drilling the spot welds out, but before we do, I need to take a few measurements of the floor just to be 100% certain that nothing's moved. And the best place to take the measurements and save the measurements is in this little device in your notes. Because I tell you what, you can put it on a piece of paper, or if I had a whiteboard, that would be alright, but at some point it's going to go, it's going to disappear, and then I'm going to look like a knob when it comes to put the floor in. So I'm going to save the measurements in my notes, I'm going to drop them in now, and then we'll get ready to drill the spot welds out.
Fine, gonna take some time, gonna make her mine, gonna make her mine.
Now, this all didn't seem to marry up round here, and after looking at this is the floor that's been ever so greatly made. It's just been butted over the original floor that's all rotten away. It's not even like cut a straight line, all the rot's still there. The rubber grommet's still there, and that is the repair. So the original floor is still underneath. I'm gobsmacked, to be fair. This is what happens when you buy a car. You're buying someone else's problems, but hey ho, let's stay positive and let's get this floor out. So in case some of you don't realise what's gone on here, this is 2mm steel plate, and rather than take the old knackered floor out and repair it, the previous person has just gone bang, let's cover the rust. I mean, it's a great strength in that, to be fair, but wow. You can. This is the evidence as well. That was obviously rusty when this was boxed over, and this is just proof that rust spreads. All this plate's been doing is touching that, and the rust has spread. It's actually laughable. I'm just going to laugh because I'll cry. Oh my god. The struggle right now is certainly real. If restoring a knackered old car wasn't hard enough, correcting someone else's bodges really doesn't help the situation. No wonder everyone says bodywork isn't for the faint-hearted, and it's even worse because I'm totally out of my depth. So after a day of 19 grinder blades, God knows how many drill bits, part of the floor is finally cut out, which brings me sadly to say this episode is going to have to be at least 2 or 3 parts, because I've spent 9 hours today doing all this, getting everything right. I've just tidied the garage and I don't want to rush it. I want it to be bang on. So rather than me make some montage of a boring episode of me just cutting a load of stuff out, we'll wait and do a next one for where we do the welding. It'll all be in the next episode. This right here is 38 years of complete and utter rust. What have I got myself into? Oh god, it's just metal, filler, cardboard. Wow. That's the biggest pile I've ever swept up of my car to date. Gosh. Anyway, I'll join you back up top. Wow, I didn't even realise how dirty my face was. God, that is just pure graft. Anyway guys, what I will say is if you did enjoy this episode, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and make sure you do everything in style. And I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye. Join me next time to witness the continued struggle, which will probably lead to me flipping my lid whilst launching a few spanners around the garage. Anyway, ta-ta for now.
Slightly sexy, a bit deranged, slapped a bandit on the outbound wall and go home train. You're an unsolved mystery, constantly challenged.